Good morning. Woo. Oh my gosh, good morning. Woo. Awesome. Woo. My name is Cindy Oliar, and I am a service associate here at the Edmonds Unitarian Universalist congregation. We are so glad you have joined us here in the hall and through your screen. Welcome to the Edmonds Unitarian Universalist congregation. We are a pluralistic faith community of seekers, humanists, theists, atheists, agnostics, and everything in between. We are committed to treating each other with compassion and respect, learning from one another, and sharing our resources to help build a more just world. We gather weekly to connect, to wrestle with life's big questions, and to rededicate ourselves to living into our Unitarian Universalist values of justice, equity, generosity, pluralism, transformation, interdependence, and love. Whether this is your first Sunday with us or you've been here more Sundays than you could ever count, we are so grateful you've chosen to be here this morning. Welcome, everyone. If this is your first time with us on site this morning and you have not yet had a chance to visit the welcome desk in the narthex, we invite you to do so after the service. Our wonderful welcome team will be glad to answer your questions about our congregation. And if you're joining us online, please go to our website at euuc.org and click on the tab that says I'm new. Then click on What Are You Interested In? To learn more about opportunities to get involved in our congregation. All right, we are happy to welcome Joseph Bednarik. Nope, sorry, Joseph Bednarik. Bednarik, thank you. All right, I was practicing all morning and then I didn't get it, but second is okay. Joseph comes to us from Port Townsend. In lieu of a traditional introduction, Joseph wanted to let you know that he recently watched a movie about a Neil Diamond tribute band, so the song Sweet Caroline has been on a continuous loop in his head. And so he may start shouting, "So good, so good, so good," at some point during the congregation. As we begin our service, we remind you to please silence your phones. And we invite everyone to remember that we welcome all children for all parts of our worship service and that the noises they make are sacred and holy. And here are a few quick announcements about events happening in and around EUC. Number one, Melanie DeMoore returns to EUC, woo! June 5th through the 7th. We are delighted to welcome Melanie DeMoore back to EUC from June 5th to June 7th. Melanie is a Grammy-nominated singer, composer, choral conductor, music director, and vocal activist, and will be leading several events and services over the weekend. Melanie and Reverend Natalie will lead a Vespers service on Friday, June 5th, from 7 to 8 p.m. Melanie will lead a drop-in choir rehearsal on Saturday, June 6th from 10 to 11:30 a.m. And then finally on Sunday, June 7th, Melanie will help lead our worship service at 10 a.m. and then offer her Songs of Comfort service from 1:30 to 3 p.m. All events will be in Chapman Hall. We hope to see you at these wonderful events. Number two, intergenerational connection and investing in youth. Help us invest in the youth of our beloved EUC. Join us on June 7th, right after the first Sunday lunch from 12:15 to 1:15 p.m. for a lively workshop where we'll dream big about our youth. We'll hear stories on how people have bonded across generations, reflect on the importance of our youth and RE programming, and brainstorm ways to make more multi-generational connections. And happening today, living our social justice values in public. Join us today after the service here in Chapman Hall for a discussion of how EUUC members as individuals and a congregation live our social justice values in public. This is important work toward reviewing our congregational stand policy in the fall. There will be childcare and snacks. Questions, contact Cindy Krieger, Pam Iverson, or Steve Ernst. And now we'll open our service with our land acknowledgement. Let us remember that our congregational home, this site on which we are gathered this morning, is placed on the ancestral lands of the Snohomish people, who have inhabited this region of the Salish Sea since time immemorial, and who continue their livelihoods on these lands today. May we all live and learn humbly as allies to the Snohomish.
So each week we commit and complete a sign and a signal of our faith tradition, Unitarian Universalism, by placing a flame in the bowl of this chalice. So week after week, month after month, year after year, we light this chalice to symbolize the warmth of this community and the flame of our hope. And that flame still burns brightly, even in the midst of challenging and uncertain times. So this morning we're going to light the chalice with words from an amazing human being named Terry Tempest Williams. Faith is not about finding meaning in the world. There may be no such thing. Faith is the belief in our capacity to create meaningful lives.
Let us now say our affirmation. You can say it out loud, read along, listen to the group reading, or otherwise participate as you wish. We need each other, and so we come to this place to work and dance and laugh and cry and think. We call ourselves a religious community, not because this place is in itself holy ground, but because what we do here and say here and are here make it so. So let it be. We invite you now to rise in body or spirit as you are comfortable to join in singing our opening hymn, number 396 in the gray hymnal, I Know This Rose Will Open, and the words will also be projected on the screen. And now we have a time for all ages.
All you kids want to join us on the rainbow carpet up here? Come on up. Come on up. Get close.
Join
You'll
us.
see the pictures. There's going to be fun sound effects that you can do with us too.
So just so you know, Leah's going to be reading the story, and my job is to do sound effects, but I'm gonna, and some voices, but I need your help, okay? Okay, thank you.
This book is called Grow Kind by John Lasser and Sage Foster Lasser and illustrated by Christopher Lyles. My name is Kiko. I grow kind. I will show you how, but first, I have a question for you. Who helps you wake up in the morning? This morning, Chico woke me up by licking my face. We went out to check the garden. Who has a garden? Anyone here have a garden? Yeah. Pretty gardens? We saw peas and peaches, tomatoes and potatoes, radishes and roses, blackberries and broccoli, melons and marigolds, and so much more. I wanted to wake up Annie, but Mom and Dad stopped me.
Be kind to Annie and let her rest.
Said Mom.
Teenagers need a lot of sleep.
I really wanted to show Annie everything growing in the garden, but I played fetch with Chico outside and waited for her to wake up. Finally, Annie woke up. You're up, you're up! I grabbed Annie's hand and pulled her toward the garden.
Beautiful.
Annie said.
I know you worked hard caring for your garden. Do you need help to harvest?
Annie and I filled our arms with lots of yummy fruits and vegetables and some pretty flowers. I gave spinach, carrots, peppers, and broccoli to my dad because he likes to cook.
Wonderful,
He said.
Thank you.
The gift of veggies made my dad so happy I wanted to share with other people too. Annie and I loaded up the wagon with food and flowers. Being kind to our friends and neighbors helps them feel good, I told Annie.
And it helps you feel good too.
We pulled the heavy wagon down our street delivering delicious gifts. Blackberries for Keisha, who loves sweet fruit. Soft, ripe tomatoes for Mrs. Stevens, who has a hard time chewing. Pluck. Peppers and corn for our next-door neighbors, Matt and Mitch, who love to grill. Potatoes for Dr. Thompson, who makes fresh potato salad.
Chop, 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 chop.
Sunflowers for Mr. Carroll, who needs cheering up. When we got to Mr. Carroll's house, we slowly walked to the front door. I was nervous. One time he shouted at Chico for running into his yard. But when Mr. Carroll opened the door, a smile lit up his face.
Thank you both.
He said.
You're very kind.
He gave Chico a gentle pat on the head.
Pat, pat, pat.
The next day, I packed a box full of fruits and vegetables to share with my teacher and friends at school. But on the drive to school, I saw someone standing in the corner. I asked my mom if we could stop. I opened up the box. What do you like to eat? I asked.
Those peaches look delicious.
She replied. I gave her some, and she waved as we said goodbye. During show and tell, I listened carefully to my friends. Ida brought her pet turtle. Don brought a jigsaw puzzle. Carmen brought her watercolor painting.
Ooh, ah.
When it was my turn, I said, I brought my garden. I gave everyone something to eat. It's show and tell and share. It made me feel so good to see everyone enjoying their fresh snacks. That night, I took out my journal to write about my day. I wrote about Mr. Carroll's smile, peaches for a hungry woman, my friends enjoying the garden's fruits, and Annie's helpful ways. Thank you. Taking time to be kind to others makes everyone feel good. Growing a garden and sharing the harvest helped me grow kind. How do you grow kind?
the end.
All right, hello everyone. So I am Gabby Lanier and that is Leah Marlowe. We are both members of the transition team, and today we wanted to take inspiration from the book that we just read and then ask you all what seeds you'd like to plant for our shared future. So under your chairs, you're gonna find this kind of paper flower and a pen. And what we want you to do is we'd like you to, I'll let you find it for a second, hold on. Okay, I trust everyone follow the direction. One-step directions, everybody. So important. I work in education, one thing at a time. Okay, so now that you have your flower, we'd like you to write a few words or a short sentence, or you can even draw an answer to one of these questions on your flower. So here's an example question, okay? What seed would you like to plant now for the future of EUUC? Okay, do you see a theme happening here? Okay, another kind of inspirational question is, what would you like to see grow as we move forward as a congregation? Okay, so either what do you want to plant or what do you want to see grow? We will collect your flowers, which will become part of a wildflower mural across from the welcome desk. Sound good? So we're gonna give you some time to write your answers, and then we'll collect them in a little bit.
So if you haven't finished, feel free to finish up during service. We can always grab them at the end too. But we'll collect the flowers. So if you want to pass them to end of rows, we'll have some people walking by with baskets to grab them. And as we're collecting your flowers, we also want to point out that there are several people here with some lovely rainbow garb on today. We're pretty easy to identify. These are members of our transition team, and we will be mingling out in the narthex after service. We're here to answer any questions for you, or listen to anything you might want to share with us, and you may also find that we have some questions for you. So thank you all. We can't wait to see what ideas and dreams blossom together as we move forward.
Thank you, Gabby and Leah. That was beautiful. Okay, and as these flowers are being collected, We can now ground ourselves even more deeply in this sacred time together. So we will now enter into a moment of meditation and quiet reflection. I invite you to find a comfortable position, whatever that feels like for your body this morning, to relax your head and neck, soften your gaze, or close your eyes. And now, as we enter into this quiet and not the silence, breathe with these words to companion you. May solace come upon you, power rise within you, and peace settle on your heart. May it be so.
Good morning, everyone. I just want to do a little bit of improv here. I had this flash of an idea during the introduction and my admission to you that I just saw a movie about Neil Diamond tribute band. And so I'm feeling it, right? I am feeling it. There it is, baby. So what I am going to try to do is teach you what a stage whisper is. It's like a really loud whisper that you could hear if you were, and because I don't want to yell in a sanctuary. So we're going to do a stage whisper of so good, so good, so good. After I sing a few bars of Sweet Caroline. All right. And I think you'll probably recognize when so good, so good, so good will come in the stage whisper. All right? Sweet Caroline, ba, ba, ba. Good times never were so good, so good, so good, so good. Thank you very much. I think that just purged me, you know? And I think I screwed up the lines in there. Sorry, Neil. Oh, Neil's not dead. Why am I looking up at this guy? Oh, gosh. Going from Neil Diamond to Bob Dylan, we're going to start this morning with a few lines from Bob Dylan. I'm going to spare you my Bob Dylan imitation, but we can meet privately out in the narthex and I'll give it to you. You may be a preacher preaching spiritual pride, maybe a city councilman taking bribes on the side, maybe working in a barber shop, you may know how to cut hair, you may be somebody's mistress, maybe somebody's heir, but you're going to have to serve somebody. Yes, you're going to have to serve somebody. Well, it may be the devil or it may be the Lord, but you're going to have to serve somebody. And so here's the story. I was recently preparing for a Sunday morning service that was going to take place at a Unitarian Universalist fellowship, and I was participating in a preparatory meeting with the lay leader for that service. We were both on the phone, separated by miles, that we were actively sharing a document in real time on our computer. And we both had editorial access to this document so we could see each other's cursors moving around. And we began confirming the details of what we were going to do. And the person expressed discomfort with the position that they were labeled on the document. Worship leader. And they punctuated their discomfort with this sentence that I found remarkable. Quote, I don't worship anything. Now, little did that person know, my internal sermon topic detector flared. as I reached for a pencil and a scrap of paper, literally an envelope that held a bill, and I wrote 4 words down so I would never forget them. I don't worship anything. And trying to capture that detectable edge in their voice by underlining the words don't and anything. I suggested that we replace the word worship with service and create the title service leader, and that tamped down the ire. Now, as we worked through the document, cursor moving, I would make the change to service leader, and I could hear their appreciation. I could feel their appreciation. We went on to have a productive meeting. We organized the service, and a few days later, we worked well together to create a meaningful Sunday morning service within a sanctuary, lighting candles, singing hymns, sharing joys and sorrows, meditating in silence, donating financial resources to worthy causes, and listening with as much depth as our skills would allow. In short, all the rituals and all the activities that do not, repeat, do not indicate that any sort of worship is happening. Now, after the service, I began asking friends and colleagues whether they worshiped anything. Now, the finest answer came from a friend of mine who quoted this line from a workshop he had attended. Quote, "Worship is that which makes me feel more fully awake and truly alive." But the usual answer that I got from my friends, atheists, humanists, high-minded people, people who go into art galleries, that sort of thing. One person I was speaking with even quoted the famed Mexican revolutionary, Emiliano Zapata. Quote, "I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees." And there is something about bended knees that the word worship, it totally gets under people's skin. And I think that discomfort is worthy of our mutual exploration here within a room that we co-create as sanctuary. So, a quick show of hands. Who here is willing to raise their hand in a group? Okay. All right. Thank you. That was a warm-up exercise to see if we could continue with the survey. All right, now 3 questions. Who here, and there's no right and there's no wrong, and you will not be, I'm not going to do anything from the pulpit. Who here in this sanctuary at this moment in time is comfortable with the word worship? Okay. Next question. Who here came through those doors this morning with the expectation to spend an hour or so engaged in an activity called worship? Okay. Final question. Who here actively dislikes the word worship? Fair. Welcome to Unitarian Universalism. I appreciate your participation. Now, we could do a similar show of hands exercise with other religious-y words, because large swaths of UUs are also not keen on words like soul or spirit or church or divine, etc., etc., etc. In various UU sanctuaries, I've had congregants come up and me over my use of such words. I'm pretty comfortable with those words. And at first I was taken a bit aback, though now I find it an encouraging sign of engagement. These people are really engaged. They might be a little pissed off, but they're really engaged. And speaking of engagement, in order to ground our conversation in common terms, here is the primary definition of worship as a verb, as printed in the very, very, very small type in the compact edition of the Oxford English Dictionary. Quote, "To honor or revere as a supernatural being or power, or as a holy thing, to regard or approach with veneration, to adore with appropriate acts, rites, or ceremonies. Now, it is readily apparent why this definition would be a non-starter for atheists and science-minded humanists, because they do not groove on the idea or the possibility of a supernatural being. So regarding worship, there is no way on not God's green earth that an atheist or a science-minded humanist, especially privileged, individualistic Americans with a rational brain and a working credit card, is going to bend one or both knees to honor or revere a fantasy. Quite likely, they would think that such an act would be to honor or revere ignorance. Fair point. Though, like much of life, the definition that we just heard contains nuance, and we should be careful about throwing out the flying spaghetti monster with the proverbial pasta water. Now, that phrase, supernatural being, it is not a standalone. Other options are notably included in the definition, namely power and holy thing. Certainly, our atheists and science-minded humanists can recognize power, yes? A little sidebar here. That little flying spaghetti monster comment that we just heard, it's referring to an incredibly funny parody of the new all-powerful deity called the Flying Spaghetti Monster, or the FSM for short, which was dreamed up back in the early 2000s as a response to conservative Christian activists who were pushing hard to get creationism taught in public schools in science classes alongside the theory of evolution. Now, those who practice FSM, they're called Pastafarians. And the parody has evolved, pun intended, to become a recognized religious movement. According to the Flying Spaghetti Monster website, quote, with many thousands of members in 60-plus countries, the Church of the FSM is one of the fastest growing religions in the world. Everyone is welcome. Some perks of being a Pastafarian. Every Friday is a religious holiday. There are no dues. A beer volcano in the afterlife. And pirate regalia at all formal functions. And like much truth-telling comedy, the Flying Spaghetti Monster and Pastafarians, they are inviting us to think into the non-rational and non-provable aspects of our own behavior regarding religion, religious beliefs, and rituals. And one of the claims of the Flying Spaghetti Monster religion is that it is the, quote, first and only empirical religious movement that combines the natural wonders of science and the supernatural claims of religion. Now, I encourage you all at some point, if you have an internet connection, I encourage you all to visit the Flying Spaghetti Monster website for some religious education and perhaps some tongue-in-cheek worship. End of sidebar. So let's grant the atheist their Big Bang universe, the Big Bang universe that they believe in. There is no God, and there's no flying spaghetti monster. There is no supernatural being worthy of their bended knee. The question then becomes, to our aforementioned service leader, is there anything at all, in the known universe that holds a power deserving of honor, of reverence, of veneration, and or adoration? Or more to the point, is there anything on this precious earth that is holy? And I bring to your attention one of my favorite quotes from Albert Einstein, legendary for his big brain and his revolutionary scientific theories. Quote, "The most beautiful emotion we can experience is the mystical. It is the power of all true art and science. They to whom the emotion is a stranger, who can no longer wonder and stand rapt, R-A-P-T, rapt in awe, are as good as dead. To know that what is impenetrable to us really exists, manifesting itself as the highest wisdom and the most radiant beauty, which our dull faculties can comprehend only in their most primitive forms, this knowledge, this feeling, is at the center of true religiousness. In this sense, and this sense only, I belong to the rank of devoutly religious people." Close quote. Now, while Einstein did not say the word worship in that passage, he says that when he is standing wrapped in awe at the highest wisdom and most radiant beauty, that he is one of those people who are devoutly religious. I think it is fair to say that he is worshipful, and that while it's startling for us to hear that even his brilliant mind, that he slots it into that descriptive category of dull faculties, and his formulas and observations and deep thinking and dreams brought him to the pulsing edge of understanding, and there they were, the impenetrable mystery, the highest wisdom, the most radiant beauty. In my mind's eye, I can see Einstein's knees bending, almost involuntarily, and I can see in my mind's eye tears streaming down his awe-filled face. I can feel his temporal body tremble. Imagine Einstein reaching out his hand to lead the aforementioned service leader to this pulsing threshold. And now imagine how brittle, how tinny this sentence sounds. I don't worship anything. At this point, let's bring forward some poetry, a verse in Jim Harrison's marvelous sequence called After Ikkyu. Ikkyu was an iconoclastic 15th century Japanese monk, also called Crazy Cloud, who became enlightened when he heard a crow caw, and Ikkyu was also known to spend time at sake houses and brothels. Jim Harrison definitely liked Ikkyu. And also Jim composed this poem while spending several months hiking in the Arizona canyonlands and deserts, inspired by Ikkyu's writings, his poems, and his Zen practice. And I'll just say that Jim's sequence shows a deep streak of spiritual wonderments and wisdom, peppered with occasional outrage at the greed and stupidity of venal politicians. Verse 37. And the name Rilke is the name of a very famous poet. "Beware, O wanderer, the road is walking too," said Rilke one day to no one in particular, as good poets everywhere address the 6 directions. "If you can't bow, you're dead meat. You'll break like uncooked spaghetti. Listen to the gods. They're shouting in your ear every second." Now, it seems like a bold assertion from the poet, if you can't bow, you're dead meat. Bowing, of course, is an act of veneration and adoration, which are, as we know, included in that definition of worship. At one congregation I speak monthly there, a life-affirming bow is modeled every Sunday at the conclusion of the service, when a congregant who's standing at the pulpit after joys and sorrows, places their palms together and bows slightly and says namaste, which is a Hindu word that means the sacred in me recognizes the sacred in you, or I bow to the divine in you. Every Sunday, the final word, namaste. It is a simple and beautiful and profound form of worship, and is a reminder that we are all divine creatures, that this human life that we are in is miraculous. And also, as science shows, we are made of the materials that the stars are made of. As Carl Sagan wrote, quote, "The cosmos is within us. We are made of star stuff. We are a way for the universe to know itself." What a fantastic way to connect the infinite to the finite, the massive to the minuscule, and to give the minuscule a sense of purpose and power. You are a way for the universe to know itself. Namaste. I bow to the divine universe in you. Again, from Harrison's poem, if you can't bow your dead meat, you'll break like uncooked spaghetti. Now, the inability to bow in this poem not only connected to dead and spiritless meat, but also to uncooked spaghetti. And let us note, for the record, that the flying spaghetti monster is made of cooked spaghetti. That the physical manifestation of that divine star-stuffed being, very flexible, very bendable, uncooked spaghetti, is the perfect image for a thin and brittle ego. When one can bow, one can move outside their discrete ego and into outside their discrete ego, their own finite existence, with humility, tap into something larger than oneself. Now, I invite you to consider there may be spiritual health in that worshipful move. Just listen to the first 2 steps from the 12-step program of Alcoholics Anonymous. 1, we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. 2, we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Now, I am certain that there are people in this sanctuary who willingly bowed to a power greater than themselves on their way to a sober life, a life that was freed from the tyrannical grip of alcohol and/or drugs. Congratulations on embracing step 2 and progressing to steps 3 and 4 and 5 in their proper order, to continue on to the other steps, all in their proper order. Step number 9 is number 9 for a reason. Feeling that tangible miracle of sobriety, bowing to a power greater than yourself. Now, for those who don't believe in or have never personally experienced a higher power deserving of worship, deserving of veneration, consider talking with a friend or family member who has worked through the 12 steps in their efforts to break the cycle of addictive behavior. Ask them about their experience of step 2, and then, very important, listen with an open heart and an open mind and lots of love. To close, verse 12 from Jim Harrison's poem After EQ. Not here and now, but now and here. If you don't know the difference is a matter of life and death, get down naked on bare knees in the snow and study the ticking of your watch. Now and here, Star Stuff. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Joseph. So good. So good. So good. I would now like to invite forward Bob to sing for us his song entitled Show Me.
Testing. There we go. Thank you. Joseph, if I'd known you were going to mention the Flying Spaghetti Monster, I would have worn my colander. Sometimes you have to stand up for something. This is a song that I consider an anthem. You come to me with visions of paradise on earth. You speak to me with certainty while I remain unsure. Well, don't talk to me of standing tall before you stand with me. Words alone are meaningless. You have got to give me more than words. And don't tell me not everyone has a birthright to be free. We all deserve the chance to see what it is that we can be. Show me joy, show me life, show me what you think is key. Show me peace, show me comfort, shine your light from sea to sea. Don't talk to me of self-sufficiency. No one lives alone. Come walk with me and we'll help the blind to see that the time is past for swords and thrones. Don't tell me you believe that freedom isn't free. What you believe hasn't changed you. I need a hand, not an ideology. I need to feel your touch. I need to know you care. And if it isn't right for all, it isn't right for me. Show me justice, show me love, show me how you feed the poor. Show me truth, show me empathy, and I'll show you how we change the world. Dreams and wonders are a luxury for those who have no choice. Bended knees are not a remedy for a person who has no voice. Show me joy, show me life, show me what you think is key. Show me peace, show me comfort, shine your light from sea to sea. Show me justice, show me love, show me how you feed the poor. Show me truth, show me empathy, and I'll show you how we change the world. Show me love.
Wow. Woo! So good, so good, so good. Thank you, Bob. Wow. And now, time for reflections. A kind word or a thoughtful act, like a pebble dropped in water, sends ripples out into the world. Should you wish to make a promise or let go of one, remember someone, release a bit of pain, forgive yourself or someone else, or otherwise mark some important event or occasion, please step forward and quietly send your thoughts outward as you drop a pebble into the water, mingling the ripples of your intention with the ripples of other people in our community. During this quiet time, and as the music plays, please feel free to come forward and place a pebble in the water. Please approach together from both aisles at the same time, and once you are finished, please return to your seats by the center aisles. I will begin by dropping one pebble for all those who wish we were here with us today, and another for all those who wish they were here. May it be so. If you are new to our congregation, you will notice that we do not take up a collection for the operations of the congregation. We chose many years ago to support our congregation by making generous pledges of financial support that we pay month by month, year by year. Instead, our Sunday offering is dedicated to going out into the world to support organizations doing good works that align with and extend the mission of this congregation, gathering together, nurturing the Spirit, living our vision of a just and sustainable world. The May cause of the month is Hearing, Speech, and Deaf Center. The mission of Hearing, Speech, and Deaf Center is to foster inclusive and accessible communities through communication, advocacy, and education. They envision an inclusive, accessible world where everyone is understood and respected. This is the last week for which we are collecting for this organization. Thank you to those who have donated this month and who will donate today. And thank you, Lex, for bringing this organization to our attention. You may donate using the QR code or go to the EUUC website and click Donate. For those of you here, there are baskets out in the narthex through the doors underneath the screen on the wall. Reminder, if you have an organization that you wish to nominate for Sunday Cause of the Month, we invite you to fill out the online nomination form at euuc.org/Sunday-offering. And we now invite you to rise in body or spirit as you are comfortable to join us in singing our opening hymn number 6 in the gray hymnal, Just as Long as I Have Breath. And the words will also be projected on the screen. Friends, if you are here in Chapman Hall this morning, you are welcome to gather with us and socialize after the service. Please go out the double doors and back of this hall, grab a hot beverage, and join us for coffee hour. We'll be here out in the narthex where you get your hot drink and out in the playground, weather permitting, with the kids of all ages. Finally, we give thanks to all of you who make this Sunday service and the work of this congregation possible. We are so grateful for you. Now for the releasing of the flame. Please join me in the words printed on the screen as we release the flame of our burning chalice. We release this flame, but not the light of truth. We release this flame, but not the warmth of this community. We release this flame, but not the fire of our commitment. These we will carry in our hearts until we meet again. And before I say the final words, I just want to say thank you again to Joseph for coming all this way. It was wonderful to have you. And thank you to Leah and Gabby and to Bob and to everybody. Thank you. What a wonderful service. The service begins as our service ends. Go in peace, practice love. Amen.